Hi all, this is Miss Stromberg. I am so sorry I can't be at school today. I have a family event that I have to be up in Santa Fe. So I'm recording this to make sure everyone's on the same page about what you're doing today. I am bummed not to be there, but I am excited that you are going to have this whole class period to work on your one-pager and try to get it finished off. I really hope that you can kind of finish the whole thing and even turn it in today, as today's the last day that we'll have significant class time, or actually just have class time to work on it. So yeah, let's see if you can get it done today. To check in and kind of see where we are so far, at this point, from last week, you figured out your molecule. We did the percent composition. We then found the MSDS sheets and used PubChem to find all of the other background information about the molecule. We moved the 1 pound to number of molecules that was supposed to be on the first block day to here at the second block day. But at this point, when we look at the rubric, we have pretty much everything that should be going on the page. So when you're making your one-pager, the idea is that you're fitting everything onto one page. If you would like to use an online template like any of these, Canva, I've used Slides and Jamboard and Adobe. I have not used BeFunky or Clicky, but those are recommendations from your peers. Please feel free to use them. The idea is just, again, that everything is going on one page. So when it comes time to turn in your project, you're going to be turning in the one page as well as the checklist. If you use one of the online platforms, you can also email it to me if you don't have a way to print it out, similarly with a copy of that checklist completed digitally as well. Either of those work, whether you want to do kind of the old school lower tech version like I did, or use some of the really cool editing possibilities that are out there. So just to revisit, you're going to be turning in this checklist, and I wanted to show you, these are the examples again where I did water and methane, so those two were off the table, but you could use them to see, hey, there's that work for the dimensional analysis table, and here are the, the physical properties with their units, and here's percent composition calculations, and the name, and molecular formula, and structural formula. And these are posted in Google Classroom as well as up on the board, so please feel free to check them out and reference if you need a little bit. And then I wanted to highlight just a couple things on the checklist that I'm worried that people may forget about. So remember, you are going to fill this out before you turn your project in. You're going to read through and you're going to make sure and find each of these things on your project so that your project is meeting the criteria it needs to be meeting. So a couple of things I'm concerned about. First off, remember the structural formula is the picture version of your molecule. It's a little more specific than the molecular formula. So that's that one. Another thing, make sure that you have your units when you're putting density, boiling point, melting point, etc. As it's easy to forget those. And then lastly, you do not have to show your work for percent composition, but you do need to show the dimensional analysis table for your moles to pounds to moles problem. So please make sure you do that. One last change also that we're going to be making, I am eliminating polarity off the list because I would like you all to be done with this sooner, like this week, than later. Because of that change in final schedule, I would like as many of you, as possible to feel like you can finish this off today and turn it in today so that I can get it sooner, start grading them sooner, and if there's a problem with them, let you know about that so that you can kind of hopefully get that ultimate high score on it before we head into finals. So yeah, that's kind of the most important information. I do want to follow up, however, I did notice a lot of folks having a bit of time on the formative last week with finding their physical properties. And so if you're one of the folks that, you couldn't find one of the physical properties or a couple of them, I wanted to let you know what the deal with that is going to be. So When you look up your molecule, and this was the first one, penicillin, that one of your cohort is doing, but I looked at it, I was like, yep, that is missing some of the physical properties. That is okay. The deal is you're going to look up one MSDS sheet and you're going to look at the first entry in PubChem. And if you can't find it in either of those two places, that's where I'm going to be checking for accuracy. So here, this is the MSDS sheet for penicillin. And if we go down to the physical and chemical properties bit, we'll see that, the molecular weight, like a lot of these are actually missing for this molecule. And the same thing for penicillin and PubChem. There's not a ton of information on it. And that's, kind of going to this idea, like, it is a lot more complicated than just what we are looking at, but wanting to start pulling some of the kind of useful tools that we have in the world and applying them to the most interesting things to you all. So, here when I go and look at chemical and physical properties, we do have the molecular weight, right, going down, looking at all this other stuff. Okay. You could do the Control F as well. But like when I looked through these last week, and I did this for actually a couple other molecules that are showing up, if it is not in the first MSDS sheet that pops up, in the first PubChem entry that pops up, you don't have to search further. If it is missing at that point, it'll say not available, or you will go through the whole, that first entry and see, hey, it's missing. But in terms of like what I'm going to be checking when I'm grading to see that you got the correct, values for this, and you have the right units for it and all, like that is going to be what I'm doing, is I'm just going to look at the first MSDS sheet and at PubChem and kind of work on the assumption that that's what you're doing as well, because that's the level that we are currently doing kind of research into the background of these chemicals at right now. So I hope this makes sense. You have materials at the front of the classroom. We've got, paper and markers and colored pencils. If you're feeling like the low-tech way to do it, please feel free to help yourself to any of those supplies. Just keep them organized for other folks, and have a really, really good day working on your project and hopefully wrapping it up. I'll miss you all. See you soon. Bye-bye.